Today, my name is Bryce and I will be discussing Module 4 Marksugan Editor. Now we move on with the Marksugan Editor. It is important that we know how these marks are used, so when we encounter them, we know what to do. Proofreading marks or editing symbols are specific, universal marks drawn on a piece of writing to identify errors. First up is the delete and close of mark. Especially in writing news, we need to keep our sentences short and direct. So if you want to remove unnecessary words, if there are some redundant terms, or if you want to delete a letter in a word, we use the delete and close of mark. For this example, the writer accidentally written to is in his or her phrase. So we remove it by using the delete and close of mark. Next up is delete a letter. When writers have typographical errors, such as mistakenly adding a letter, for example, having an extra letter for the word million, we can mark the mistakenly added letters. In relation, here's the mark for inserting a letter. For this example, as far as possible, the writer misspelled the word possible by lacking the letter S. Next is insert a word. For this example, to create better readability, first at school, we can add the word one using this mark. Next is spell out. In the example the press said, we encircle it and we must spell it out. For personal and professional titles such as Doctor, Mr., Mrs., General, Director, when it is followed by the name, it is abbreviated. In the example below, General Rogelio Marquez, since General is followed by the name, General should be abbreviated. Next up is set in numerals. If a number begins a sentence, we spell it out. For measurements, fractions, ratios, percentages, we also use set in numerals. Next up is transposed words. Words or letters that are in the wrong order or need to change places are transposed. Transposed letters within words are often just typos, but sometimes words should be transposed to help the sentence sound better. For example, we can see that and the has been mistakenly switched. We can use the transpose mark to correct this. Adding space contribute to the readability of a written material. Word spacing shows this unspoken aspect of speech. Otherwise, it would be difficult for people to read one long continuous line of letters. In this example, once upon a time, we can insert the missing space between A and time with this mark. Capitalization is the writing of a word with its first letter in the uppercase and the remaining letters in lowercase. Whenever we want to capitalize, we just simply put two underlines. Some of the words we capitalize are the first word of a sentence. Next up is use lowercase. We use the lowercase mark where we put the slash on the letter we want to lowercase. For example, for universities where we simply put a slash as a lowercase mark. Next up is insert quotation marks. We can see that the example below, the quotation marks are missing. So we simply put the down facing arrow and the quotation marks where we want it to be. Next is insert apostrophe. Apostrophe is used to indicate possessive case, contractions, and omitted letters. For this example, there is a missing apostrophe in genus mother. We can use this mark to add apostrophe. We use a comma to signal pause or to separate each item in a series. For this example, we use it to separate mangoes, papayas, oranges. We also use it for dates, between clauses for an introductory clause, or to set a name of someone you're addressing directly. Next up is insert period. The period is used to end all sentences except those that are direct questions or exclamations. Periods are also used in abbreviations. For this example, there is a missing period for the sentence, this is the end. We can use this mark to add missing period. Next is center text. We use the center text mark as shown in the example if you want to indent a paragraph. We use a symbol looking like a bracket and just place it before the first word of the sentence and the last. Next up is indent for a paragraph. If you want to indent a paragraph, we can use the symbol looking like a big L and just place it before the first word of the sentence. But if you want to break a paragraph and start a new one, use the symbol shown in your screen and place it before the first word of the new paragraph. Next is set in boldface. For our titles and headings or words that we want to boldface, we use the boldface symbol by encircling the word or words we want to set in bold and put BF. Boldface is a type or print that has thick, heavy lines used for emphasis, heading, and others. Next is set in italics. Italics are used for emphasis. To draw attention to some particular part of the text, we simply put underline as the mark. For terms we want to set in all caps, such as acronyms, we can encircle it and then write all caps on the side. On the other hand, for terms we want to set in lowercase, we encircle it and then write CLC. Now, to mark the end of our copy, we use an end mark or end sign as shown like dash and dash 30 dash or dash XXX dash or three number signs. As editors are also just humans and are prone to mistake, so if we like to omit the correction we made, we may use the disregard correction or stet symbol. These are just some of the rules, and it is important that we refer to our style book for consistency. So again, this is just a glimpse in editing, and I hope you have been familiarized with some of the common marks of an editor. I have prepared discussion questions below. Thank you for your time and have a great day.